Thank you very much for the introduction, Charles, and good morning, everybody. We're really grateful for the opportunity to chat about our client and our companies. And our company is called Networds. I don't know if you can get our presentation up. There we go. We've been established about 18 years ago here in Cape Town. We are one of the 20 Google Premier partners in South Africa, and we manage digital marketing campaigns for about 50 SMBs. So we've been in the trenches with our clients for a very long time, and we've learned lots of lessons in digital marketing. Maybe just by a show of hands, I don't know if anybody of you are in digital marketing or have, yeah, great, that's great. I've got Google Ads experience. So I hope there's going to be lots of questions, and I'll gladly share with you our experiences to date. So I always refer to digital marketing or marketing in general as I use the analogy of fishing. When I was a boy, my brother and I loved fishing. And as we got older, we recognized and realized that, there's a lot more to fishing than meets the eye. You need to know exactly what bait to use. You need to know what time of day to fish or what time of the month to fish, or, where the fish are. Different species are in different places. And the same thing, the same thing applies to humans as well. In digital marketing, it actually makes a lot of sense. And this talk is going to be about geospatial targeting and how to find exactly where the fish are and literally carpet bomb them with advertising. So, I'm gladly share that with you guys. Okay, so there's a big problem with media and advertising in general. And it amazes me to see how many sophisticated and big brands in South Africa today make this mistake. It's almost in a way, a careless spending of clients' budgets. And what often happens, and we all experience it. We get exposed to advertising that's not relevant to us. There's audience spillover. We buy, there's poor quality traffic for clients. You might get lots of clicks or impressions, but it doesn't convert into business for your client. You have expensive conversions, wasted budget, inaccurate targeting. And the solution to this is geospatial advertising, which we can apply on various advertising platforms. So I'll go to the platforms on the next slide. But basically, the principles about what we can do here is harnessing geospatial targeting, fishing where the fish are. The second technology that's really helpful is geocoding your existing customer base. So let's say you're a company like Take-A-Lot, for instance, or a company that has got a big client database. You know where your clients are, you've got their addresses. We can anonymize that data and basically put it onto a map and know exactly where your customers are, cluster them, advertise in those areas, completely cherry pick, and then we can algorithmically find similar audiences. So we can look at the demographics of your existing clients, where they live, and apply those variables to other markets in South Africa, which you might not have known about, and it helps you with market discovery. So as I mentioned, you can use geospatial targeting on almost any platform that has location targeting. We're deep into Google technology, and Google is probably the most sophisticated platform when it comes to location targeting. And with Google specifically, you can target up to a kilometer radius. So it's a very, very small, very small area that you can cover, and you can be very specific about it. So the goals is, normal advertising goals. It's either to generate sales, to create website traffic, to generate leads for your clients. or to create brand awareness for your brand. And we can apply geospatial targeting to each one of these specific marketing goals. So I used Cape Town as an example here just to make it a bit more practical for you to understand how we do it. And basically what I want to communicate with you and share with you today is just a way of thinking about digital advertising and how you can use location targeting to really find your audience, because it's very relevant and it is going to save you or your client money. This is an example, and I choose Cape Town because most of us are probably from Cape Town. So what we did here is we identified all the properties in Cape Town that are valued at more than 15 million rand. So let's say you've got a very specific high-end product. In this case, we worked with a luxury watch company. They wanted to target those high-end customers. And we basically segmented, or firstly, we identified all the clusters of 15 million rand properties in Cape Town. And then we used machine learning to kind of group them together in those little 1 kilometer radiuses. That gives us a very good idea of where the most affluent people in Cape Town live, and we can advertise just on those spots. So whenever they're in that area, we can target them. So yeah, just to give you an idea, there's Oranje Sicht in purple, Bakhoven, Camps Bay, Bantry Bay. And let me just take the next slide. There's Llandudno and Out Bay. Very interesting example, because there are some areas in Out Bay you want to advertise and others maybe not if you're in a 15 million, if you're looking for that target audience. And it could be the other way around as well. You might want to advertise in a very specific demographic, and we can identify that depending on what your goals are. Here are a few more examples of the kind of audiences that we can generate. This is a 5 million rand plus property map in Cape Town. Next one is all the light industrial areas in South Africa. So if you've got a company that is an engineering company that might sell cooling systems to factories, or if you do racking, we did this for a racking and shelving company that just wanted to target industrial areas. This made it very possible for us to just focus in on those specific areas. And this one we used for a plumbing company in Pretoria, where we wanted to target people that would be able to, say, afford a plumbing job of 2,000 rand average. But we also wanted to target the rest of Pretoria, so we just bid less on the rest of Pretoria. Okay, does this make any sense to you guys? Thank you. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. I'm just going to run through a few product examples because it is quite interesting, and maybe it will also make you think in terms of your product. And you're also welcome to come and chat to us afterwards, and we can see what we can possibly do, and if we can find that sweet spot for you. But solar solutions is one. For instance, we can identify all the shopping centers in South Africa, or all the big office parks, or houses that has very big roof spaces and good solar radiation scores. So that's one way of finding it. I spoke about luxury appliances and luxury watches, and all things luxury. If you want that specific target market, we can go for the 15 million plus audience, or we can go for all the security estates. If you want to, if that's your target market, we can target, Steenberg, Waldevie, or Atlantic Golf, or whatever estate you want to specifically target. And luxury cars, luxury travel, high-end furniture, and private wealth management, and those kinds of products. So it's important to know that there's a lot more things that you can target. You can target top schools, top university. For one client, we targeted specifically all the mines in South Africa. Very interesting, there's about 340 active mines in South Africa, and we can
pin each one of them, you can see what a mine looks like from above. It's really not pretty, but it's very hard to find the locations of each and every mine in South Africa, and also all the mining headquarters. So if you're targeting those executives, for instance, we can target the headquarter. Lots of different applications for different kinds of campaigns. You can run political campaigns if you're interested in very specific demographics, or social upliftment campaigns, or campaigns that can work in lower LSMs. We've got FMCGs, your traditional FMCGs, motor industry. Of course, if you have different cars, have got different target audiences, so we can approach those. And pharmaceuticals and financial service products. And conferences and events, also very interesting in one. For instance, if you, there's an event, let's say at the Cape Town Stadium, there's going to be 60,000 people there on that day, and you can set up your campaign to reach those people right there on that specific day with specific targeting. Let's say you're a main sponsor, we can make sure that your ads show for everybody who's on their cell phones or engaging in social media on that specific location on that day. So these are, the benefits are quite obvious, but some of them are very interesting. Obviously, you can reach a very specific area. I mentioned to you within a 1 kilometer radius. That radius can be bigger, but at the moment, the minimum that Google has is about 1 kilometer, and Facebook is about 1.5 kilometers. But yeah, you can have a hyper-specific reach. Your messaging can be very specific as well. As the example that I told you about for the estates, is you can, for instance, create messaging for a specific estate or for a specific event. And if you take the fishing analogy, that would be the bait. And you can show that messaging specifically for that event. And you will obviously cut irrelevant spend. This is a very important aspect of Google ads management, is to have exclusions and to exclude negative audiences so that your ads don't show to people that is not relevant to your target audience. And then I wanted to speak a little bit about the temporal aspect of the campaign. Sorry, that lady there had a question.
Yeah. Are you clearly using Google's tools, or what data sets are you plugging into to be up to date?
So we use mainly Google, but our technology can apply to Facebook. We use that. You can use Bing. So almost any platform that has location targeting, and where you can give a specific coordinate. And Google is a bit limited by it. With Google, you can use up to 500 pins in a campaign. So, you want to try and breed out the best performing areas over time. No, this is proprietary data. So to give you an example, like Hout Bay, for instance, if you ask Google to target Hout Bay, if it has Hout Bay, it doesn't always have suburbs. So it will target the whole of Hout Bay, but you don't want to advertise everywhere in Hout Bay, so that gives you, a better exposure. Thank you.
My question was pretty much exactly the same as hers, so I wanted to know if it's a proprietary tool that you guys have built,
yes,
and how it plugs into these interfaces.
Yes.
And what about privacy and all that type of stuff? Do you guys consider that?
Yeah.
Pretty much the same as what you asked. Thank you.
Yeah. So, when we do source data, it's obviously anonymized, so we're only looking at what the physical location is. It's not tied to any specific individual. So, yeah, I hope that answers you. Thank you.
Oh, hold on. Let me get you the mic this time.
Burning question.
Thank you.
So then, with the geo-targeting, are you able to follow a pinned user around? For example, those stadium attendees.
So that's a very interesting question. The answer is no. So yeah, we're not able to do that.
It's very location-based pinned.
Yeah,
users.
it's very specifically location-based. You know, there are some technologies using MAC addresses on phones and stuff like that that we can apply, but our specific solution now is, you know, just for geospatial targeting. What is very interesting, and I just briefly want to chat about that, is strategic timing, and it's something we can all consider when we build campaigns. So when we spoke about fishing, we said there's different times of day when the fish bite, or different times of the month. Now, people are exactly the same. There's a temporal aspect to digital marketing. To give you an example, let's say you want to target people that live in the northern suburbs. Now, they migrate like a big herd over the Serengeti in the mornings from 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock even to 9 o'clock when they come to town. So that whole route is essentially a captive audience. And while people should not be, you know, browsing on their phones while they're driving, most people do. And one day when we all have our self-driving cars, we can consume our media
Legally.
legally. Yeah. And so your audience would change, because that audience would be on the road from 6 to 9 o'clock, and you would advertise specific stuff to them. They might be at the office during the day, so then they would be searching for, you know, stuff related to their business. When they drive back at night, you might want to prompt them with KFC ads, or, you know, like show something that's relevant to them while they're going home. And when they get home at night, their media consumption is different. So it's the same audience, but that audience can be targeted in different places. So maybe that speaks a little bit to your question.
All right. Okay, hang on one second. We're recording this, so we like to hear the question.
Hi, sorry, just further to Kalisha's question around if you can then follow the audience. Based on this, how would you strategically put something together if you can't follow the person out of Hout Bay, but then target them at different points of interaction? How would you know where that user moves?
So, you know, you would definitely do it in this case with some assumptions beforehand, as I explained now with the northern suburbs, for instance. And I would say, you know, we'd probably build three or four campaigns targeting different times of day for where that specific audience is at that time. So that's about the closest we can get to it, unless we use, you know, live data and MAC addresses, which is not what this is about. This is about targeting very specific audiences in very specific places, especially, you know, yeah, where people live, where people work, where they go to school. So, you know, if that answers your question to some extent.
Unless there's a last question, we're going to end it here. Last shot? Okay. Actually, I do have one quick question for you, which is there an enabling technology that makes everything you're doing possible that you would point to, a single one? A technological innovation, a recent one, that makes all of this possible?
Oh, I would say machine learning is probably the most important one, and also it's not really a new technology, but the ability to
Let's call it new for now.
Yes, like geocoding locations.
Okay.
I think that's quite a useful technology, and to be able to identify. The mines, for instance, in South Africa. You want to reach all the mine headquarters, so you can go and look at zoning data or find where these guys are, geocode them, and, you know, advertise to them in that way.
Alex, thank you so much. Everyone, please thank Alex.
Thanks, guys.